Yeah, that body's a blessing, girl. I ain't trying to pressure her. She messed with the temperature.
Good evening, you crypto lovers out there. So today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and some other charts. So I went to school today, came back, and voila, the markets are green again. So as you can see, this is the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, and we have a lot of action here. So you can see the move up and a dip, almost 30% dip, another almost 30% dip, and you can see all these dips, and eventually the market is still going up. And from this perspective, we can see that the markets are still going way higher. So let's zoom in closer and see what we expect to see. So here we have the present, the closest set of time from the 28th all the way to the 28th. So approximately a month whole of information, and you can see the market has been on a downtrend. So here we have my past idea that I posted, and this is TradingView, by the way. So I analyzed the chart. So this was what I thought was going to happen, and so far so good. My resistance line, or the line I felt was the resistance, has been broken, though there was a bit of stop at that point. So let's see what is actually happening in the markets right now. So I'll zoom this out so you can see all the trend lines and moves. So this was made from the last breakout, Fibonacci extension tool, the movements, the points, and also support levels. You can see these major support levels and resistance levels. So I'll get rid of all of them. So we had the movement, the downwards pull, the downwards move, the downtrend, and it seems like the trend was over right here when we had a break above this trend, but we needed some more confirmation as the markets were still not so shabby. Here we had this resistance level, which was held down by also the 23.6 fib level. So right now the markets have broken through this 23.6, I think, fib level, and we expect to make higher highs. But what are the calls presently? First of all, we have strong resistance levels. Now this level might hold the market for a while, and the price today is at 1,800 and 1,189. I wish it was 1,800. So this level, would expect a break above it, but we could also expect a pullback downwards. Now, there's a lot of news moving the market. Now, generally, when things happen, we expect that there should be news to back up technical analysis and everything. And there are a lot of news, which I'll get to eventually. But presently, we can see that there's a lot of movement in the market. And the next level, I'll expect the market, if this level holds and breaks through, we'll be expecting another resistance somewhere at 4,536 level. So I'll put up a line there, right somewhere here. So we're expecting resistance there, as that level, though not so tested so much, has been tested a bit, but we would want to use this. So I generally prefer to use the line sticks, or the line charts, to find major levels of support and resistance, because I look at the wicks as being something like a reflex reaction. For instance, we all know what reflex reactions are, things we cannot control. So I don't put in the reflex reactions into my charts, which might be a downside, but as you can see here, this matches exactly with the 61.8. So it means that the charts made this way might have something deeper to them. So I prefer to make it that way. Now with the wicks, we'll have had it at 4,500, but I prefer to be conservative and have my chart at this 4,400. So I would expect a move or a slight hold up here, consolidation if possible, and then a breakout, maybe one candle before a move to this level, before the next resistance. Now you can see this level was used as resistance here, 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 and also try to support the levels. So this tells us that this level is going to be a very significant level coming up, which means traders are going to be putting up sell walls on these major levels generally. So that is just generally what I see coming up with Bitcoin in the next couple of days. But where do I see Bitcoin in the week to come if this movement keeps on going higher? I think I set generally the next points moving forward using the Fibonacci extension tools will end up at 5,087. That will be the highs before we'll have talks of a slight correction or consolidation. So if we decide to think of maybe we're using Elliott wave mentality, we could say this is the first wave, we'll have the second wave ending here, and then the third wave or the second wave above this, and then the third wave getting up to here. That's if the markets keep going higher. But mind that the markets could also change direction and decide to move downwards. As now you can see, these are strong green candles with small amount of wicks, which tells us that there's a lot of momentum in the markets, and we are going to be seeing a lot of FOMO buying because a lot of people don't want to miss out. So a lot of FOMO buying. Next up, I'm going to talk about Digibyte. So I've looked at the charts on Digibyte and I felt Digibyte is kind of in a good place right now. It might go down and go to nothing, but this is generally the time of the year where gaming is an in thing. Like, yeah, gamers would know, I guess. So gaming is generally an in thing at the time. Sorry, I need to pull up the Poloniex chart. So I looked at the charts and the charts are kind of looking good, as you can already see from the present charts on Digibyte. Here we have it. So Digibyte, where do I see Digibyte going in the near future? It's all on the screen, but let's get all this out of the way and let's see where it has been in a while. So Digibyte has been here and there, up and down, and it's gone around a bit. But what do we see happening in the markets? The markets are presently at the bottom. Like, they are bottoming out. Here you can see this move, this. Now, in a retrospective sense, when you go back to the past, these moves looked as big as maybe this. I don't know, not as big as, but as big as. Look at this, almost halfway, and this almost similar. So, but the issue is not what has happened back there, though it's important. But here we have generally it's making higher highs on the go. Like, it's now moving ahead. So I'll pull up the 50-day moving average, and you can see generally the markets, the charts, the candlesticks are ranging way above the 50 EMA, which is indicative of a hold above water, because the EMA serves as check. Now the EMA is a fast EMA, so it balances and helps to analyze and determine what is happening. And if we pull up the MACD and zoom in a bit closer, we can see a strong correlation between the faster moving average and the shorter moving average, where the faster moving average is trying to stay above, which was happening the same while in Bitcoin we had already a cross, as we'll see here. Here, back on the Bitcoin chart, the 50-day moving average, here we can see there's already a cross and a move above. So we have a lot of momentum coming into the markets, also pushing the markets way forward. And here we can see all that move. Bitcoin also staying above the 50-day moving average. Now we'll need the 50-day moving average to catch up with the trend and move sideways with it to make it a valid move, like something like this. You can see, so there's going to be a chance that this moving average will meet up with the candlesticks somewhere here to keep going forward. So here we have this move, and it seems to be making higher highs on the go. Now you can see a bounce off the lower Fibonacci, and then a slight slow move through this channel. Now I expect a move towards the top of the channel, a bounce down before a breakout. So it needs to test this level for like the third time possibly before we could see a final breakout in the price of Digibyte. But generally for me, Digibyte is one coin I'm going to be looking at, because it seems like there's a lot of news coming up also in the gaming sector, where a gaming company invested some money. So in crypto, yeah, a lot of people prefer to trade due to technical analysis, but you could also put in a lot of extra information from trading the markets, because you don't want to get caught up in sentiment without knowing what the markets are actually doing. So next up, we're going to just look at NEO shortly. So here we had a similar instance, consolidation below and a break above this what do you call it, the 50 EMA. Now when we zoom closer, we can see that there's strong movement up, but also resistance levels seem to come in handy right here, where we had the first people buying, the FOMO buyers coming in, and now this, for the market to keep going higher, we need this moving average to come together with the candlesticks. Now in other words, it's just like the candlesticks trying to pick up the moving average. They always come back to pick up the moving average. It's a way to look at it like psychology, but the corrections keep making it, because when we have parabolic moves, we always expect to see a fall. It's case and effect. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So these are things that happen generally in the market. So NEO can keep going up because of a lot of news coming up from the Korean and the Japanese side of the world, and maybe possibly some market manipulation. But we also have to look into consideration that if you hadn't been accumulating down here, now whatever you're doing up here might just be FOMO buying. But what could be the possible places that this will have resistance at? So I'll go to this. Let's see what we can find. So here, yep, between the two. So right here looks like a place where the downward trend, the down move of NEO might have some resistance. So there might be a stop in the move, because the markets have not been this high. So there's only been so much test of this level. This, which eventually broke down. This tried again and eventually went below. So you also want to look at this level, this not just as one line, but as a range, plus or minus. So it could be all the way to this level also, which has also been tested a couple of times. So somewhere around this range, if the markets intend to keep going up, at this range we should expect a bounce back up, and we should also expect this moving average to meet up with the NEO candlesticks right here. So that has been all with on the technical analysis. If you like this, please leave a comment, subscribe, and leave a like. Thank you very much. Peace out.